All right. Hello, everyone. So great to be here with you all today. My name is Melissa. I work at Medium. I'm really excited to be doing today's writing challenge exercise live with you today. Before I jump into the exercise, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and my role at Medium. So I'm Melissa DePoit. My last name is spelled pretty trickily, but it is pronounced DePoit like Detroit. And I am a director of engineering at Medium. That's a pretty fancy job title, but what it means is that I work with the Medium engineers who are building and launching new features every single day. And I oversee a lot of our department operations for engineering. One thing that is interesting about me and my background is that I'm not a trained software engineer based in my academic background. I'm actually a journalist. And so that means I have a pretty cool background as a writer who learned software engineering. I've actually written about that on Medium. And I actually kept a blog on Medium 10 years ago when I was becoming a software engineer. So it's a really cool full circle moment for me to be here, getting to share my process for writing with you all. So, one other interesting thing is that I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is in the southwest high desert of the United States. And one thing I love about living here is its proximity to all kinds of outdoor activities, but especially horseback riding. About 2 years ago, I decided to pick up horseback riding as a hobby. And that's actually what I'm going to be writing about today, or it's what I've been working on this month as we've done the writing challenge. And it will be the story that I'm going to flesh out today. So we'll pull that up on the screen here. The story that I am working on is called, let me share the right tab here. Sorry about this. All right. The story that I am working on is a story about how picking up horseback riding as an adult has been a real learning experience for me. It started out as something that I was just doing because it was something that was just for me, but really it has become something that has helped me become a better person and a better leader at work. So my story, and you can see I've started with my title. I of course added a photo of Blue and myself because we want to see pictures. Who doesn't want to see pictures? I started my introduction yesterday, and I am now at the point where I have three main ideas that I want to flesh out. I think what is really important here for me to kind of that I want to convey as I do this exercise is that I picked these three bullet points not because each one had a really clear, like, this is what I learned on horseback, and here's how I apply it at work. Instead, I really want this to be a little bit more subtle, a story that kind of builds to this gradual realization. And I want to take readers on that journey as well. So, what I am going to start out by doing is I'm going to go bullet by bullet here, looking at these different ideas. And I'm just going to start pulling out some horsey details that I want to include. I want to be able to explain not only what it is that I'm doing with my horse, but also what that means and how it resonates with me. So I'm just going to start here by um, pulling out whatever comes out of my head. And I'm not going to worry too much about flow or sentence structure. I'm just thinking about fleshing out the key ideas. So I'm going to start here with this first one. Horseback riding is all about the relationship between the horse and the rider, and it starts on the ground. I think one thing here for me is that there's a surprising amount of pulling involved, like actual physical pulling. And that is surprising to me, but I'm not actually sure why I'm really surprised because at the end of the day, Blue is a 1,500-pound animal and she's a lot bigger than I am. Thank you for the background music. Perfect. All right. And then one more thing that I want to call out here is that I don't actually enjoy pulling on her. And so there's an idea here that I'm going to come back and unpack. But again, right now I'm just focused on getting kind of the concept out onto paper, so to speak. I'm actually happy with how that came out. So I'm going to move on to this next one. Also, we've got some more pictures down here. Just all right. Writing is an active conversation. So this one is all about communication, what I'm communicating to her, and also what she, as a horse, is communicating back to me. So what I want to call out here is that Blue is really highly trained. She's a world champion caliber horse. This means she's been ridden in horse shows and she has competed with other riders and has won the world championship, which is pretty cool. But I am an amateur. And so I'm trying to get at here the idea that there's an imbalance in that she's really well trained and I am not, which means that I was going to write, I have to be keenly aware of what I'm communicating, and that's in my sentence above. What I mean is, I have to be when I'm horseback riding, I want to be present with Blue because everything, how you spell everything, but it's not a problem. Everything wanting to get at this idea that every single little thing I'm doing is communicating in some way to her. And what that means is that when we mess up, it's easy to feel like she did something wrong. But I want to call this back to the fact that she's very highly trained. She knows how to move. So that's really good. Put that as a bullet. But anyway, that she's very highly trained, and so that if we mess up, it's easy to feel like she did something wrong, but it's actually much more likely that I sent the wrong signal. So she knows how to move, and then it's my job as the writer really to tell her about where I want to go and how I want us to get there. And that I'm really happy with kind of as an idea because that does tie in pretty nicely to showing up as a leader. So let me just add that. You can see I'm really not worried at this point about spelling or grammar or even getting the phrasing right. I'm really just trying to kind of pull out these ideas from my head and get them kind of onto the page. All right, this brings me to my third one. When I'm out spending time with and riding with Blue, I'm practicing how I show up as a leader. All right, what do I want to say here? All right, well, I guess I'll start here by just defining what I think I'm doing. Showing up as, I want to be present when I'm with her, which is kind of the point of the previous bullet. I'm disciplined, which is the point of the first bullet, that there's some boundaries and being firm with her. But then also a big part of riding, not writing, is being soft and being relaxed and not tensing up too much. And I think that that's a really nice parallel between riding the horse and leading teams at work. I also want to call out here, it didn't start out this way. I didn't start riding, didn't start riding horseback because I thought that it would make me a better leader. It was just for me. And what I also want to say here is that it's like because I've been committed to blue, I've been committed to myself. And there's something really nice about being committed to myself, meaning that I'm able to then show up better in all aspects of my life. So, okay. All right. So I've gone through here now. I've got about 9 different bullet points. I'm just going to pause, take a sip of water here. I'm going to look at the chat and see what's coming up for people. How did I pick my 3 main ideas? Great question from MS. I did the previous day's exercise. This, I think, was day 8 when we brainstormed the answers to a bunch of questions about what have we learned? What is our personal experience with things? What has been hard? And so actually, if I scroll down in my story, this is where I've been working. You'll see that I have a section literally that I've labeled scraps. And these are all of the ideas and bullet points that I brainstormed during day 8. And you can see I actually did quite a lot. So I had a bunch of ideas here about what my bullet points could be. And then, like I said at the top, I really wanted to kind of tell a single story with the 3 main sections. I didn't want it to be 3 discrete and unrelated points or learnings. And so I went through, I've had about 10 ideas of what I could focus on. And I picked the ones that to me felt like they kind of flowed with each other and would build to a really cool conclusion. All right. So I'm just going to go back through here one more time. Now that I've gotten some original ideas out, I'm going to go back through and kind of start to refine it. So in my first section here, I have this idea of that there's actual physical pulling involved, which shouldn't be surprising, again, because she's so big, but it was. And I think what I really want to say here is like being a little bit more vulnerable as a writer. I don't enjoy pulling on her. I don't love feeling like I'm forcing my will on her. And this is a challenge for me to physically pull her and emotionally pull her. And so what I'm doing when I pull on her is like I'm building trust between us, this trust that just for her and me, that I know what I'm doing. And I'm trusting the process that so it's this idea that being firm and direct with her actually helps deepen the trust in the relationship that we have. I think that will ultimately flow pretty nicely into it being an active conversation. And now I'll go back through here and correct some errors. And this is the part where I will start to go through and kind of look at sentence structure. Sometimes the perfect phrasing, it just hits right away. And then other times I really have to kind of wordsmith things a lot. I'm the type of writer who, if I cannot get the exact right phrasing, I will get hung up on it and not be able to move on from the idea. And so, an exercise like this today, where it is just focused on getting out those extra bullet points to flesh out the ideas, is actually a really helpful process for me. So I'm really happy with how this has turned out so far. I think this is going to set me up really nicely for tomorrow's exercise, where we're even going through this again and refining it, adding a little bit more detail. I think that this has really given me a good jumping off point, and I'm pretty excited about the shape that my story is taking. Go ahead and see if we have any more questions or comments in the chat. But if not, I want to thank you all for joining me for today's writing exercise. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to keep doing these exercises over the next several weeks and to get to press publish with you all in a couple of weeks, in under 2 weeks. So feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to hang out, and thank you so much for joining, and we will see you for tomorrow's writing challenge. It looks like we've got a question in the chat about the OS requirement for iOS users. Our team is more than happy to answer this. If you reach out, you can email support at Medium or go through our help center in order to reach out, but we can answer that for you with the support team. Thank you so much. All right. I think that is a wrap on today's exercise. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.